Good evening, everybody. It's Katie again with Knitting on the Fly. It is February 15th, 2011. It's a Tuesday night. I had a good day at work, so I'm going to take the opportunity to record tonight. I'm trying a new light bulb. We'll see how it works. I'm still playing with it. So, we will start off with jet setting. I'm trying to get the pocket done for my blanket, so I'm seed stitching while we chat. It was a little interesting this week. Work last week was fairly uneventful. After I spoke to you guys, I think I just had one full day left. Wasn't too bad. Nothing comes to mind, so it must have been a good day. As far as my travel south, the first leg out of Boston went really well. I got a seat. I knit like a fiend for 3 and some hours. Made tons of progress. I actually got majority of the prayer shawl that I showed you. I had the yarn for last week. I started a couple times and ripped it out because I didn't like it, and then I got a great deal done on it on the way down. And then I got to my stopover, my layover. I found my gate. I got a sandwich. I was just waiting, and then I heard the gate agent say mechanical, which for a pilot means usually not a good thing. So I kind of wander up there and I said, from one airline employee to another, what's the deal? And she said, well, the plane on the inbound flight, their right rudder cable snapped. So in plain person speak, the pedals that operate the rudder, which gives you directional control this way, one of them snapped. Now it's not as bad as it sounds because they've got two. They're redundant. But once one breaks, you can't take off again with a broken rudder pedal. Or broken rudder cable. So they said they're trying to find a new airplane, and I said, what are the odds? And she goes, well, I guess we'll have to see. And then they got the message that it was canceled. So I had her look up another flight to another town in the area. Was oversold by one. I ran over to the gate anyway. Ended up in the jump seat. Luckily, there was no one else there for the jump seat. So that worked out to my favor. My honey came and picked me up when I got there. We went out for dinner. I ended up having this awesome ahi tuna basic steak fillet, basically, and asparagus steamed. Oh, it was so good. I kind of think that was our Thanksgiving. What was it? Thanksgiving, Valentine's dinner. But it was really good, and it was really nice, and it only took me an extra couple hours to get there, so that wasn't too bad. My travel back on Monday was extremely uneventful, which is exactly how I like it. Uneventful travel is always a good thing. I'll take waiting, I'll take delays, but, canceled flights and bummed passengers, and I just would rather avoid that altogether. I did, for work today, it was really bumpy in the Northeast. We had a low pressure system that exited the area today, and in that its wake it brought down frosty, freezing cold air from up north and some extremely bumpy weather. Passengers did pretty good. They don't like it when it's bumpy. I know they don't like it when it's bumpy. I don't enjoy it when it's bumpy. So don't think that anybody likes it, because nobody likes it. But I think we just get a little more used to it than the passengers do, because we do it so much. So other than that, it wasn't too bad. I had some kind of annoying passengers today, but that's just because they ask me silly questions and I give them silly answers. So that's my coping mechanism with dumb questions. So anyway, it was a fairly uneventful day today. The rest of the week should be fine. We're supposed to have sun. It's supposed to get in the mid to upper 30s. I know that's sad, but I'll take it right now. On my way down, though, I was knitting on the prayer shawl and my February lady sweater, and I got one of the flight attendants asked for a sweater. This is my kipping section, kind of stealing one from Jackie at Kipping It Real. I don't always get stuff, but passenger wanted a sweater. Another passenger asked which stitch pattern I was doing, so I knew she was a knitter, and she didn't know you could bring needles on the plane. So I fully educated her on how to bring her knitting with her on her next trip. So that was good. That's about it for jet setting. A couple weekends from now, I'm going down to bring the cats home, so I'm sure you'll be seeing them in one of the future podcasts, because Sebastian always needs to be where the adult is, the human is, so I'm sure you will see him make an appearance at some point. En route, I have the pockets. This is the pocket for the Sheldon blanket, which is now done. I'm just doing the seed stitch top. But here's the blanket in its full glory. Oops. So it's got all the borders done, all the edges, everything's seamed up and everything. So I'll finish the seed stitch hopefully while we're talking. Seam that on tomorrow. Sheldon is also almost done. The turtle that goes inside pocket. I don't know if I've knitted on this since last week, but he's partially stuffed. It needs to be distributed a little bit more, but that's his head. It's his face. I'm gonna duplicate stitch eyes on. It says to put buttons on, but I don't want to. And then this is where the shell's gonna go. So hopefully this will be done before I podcast next week, so I can get it in the mail, because Brenna showed up early. They'd moved up her due date a week and a half, and she came a week before that. So she's healthy and great, but she's already here. So this needs to be finished now and shipped off to the Dallas-Fort Worth greater area where they live. So that will hopefully be done very soon. The prayer shawl made great strides this week. I ripped this out about 4 times. This was all done this weekend on my way down to the south and back. It's just is it homespun? Yeah, it's just homespun. It's just a basic eyelet. It's a basic eyelet stitch. It's nothing super fancy, but I think it's going to be nice and warm and cuddly, and that is for my friend's mom who's diagnosed with cancer. I've mentioned it a couple times, but that's the first skein. And then I worked on the February later sweater, which I'm in mid-row when I ran out of yarn. But that's also making great progress. Sorry. So that's going extremely well. So that is, wow, that light's bugging me. Well, you've seen it before. It's like a maroony color. But that's going along swimmingly. This is the second weekend in a row when I've traveled, I've run out of yarn. I hooked up a skein to that, gone, before I even got partway back to Boston this weekend. And I ran out of the homespun for the for the prayer shawl. So all I was left with was the sock. I've actually cast on for the second sock. But that's about it. I did Judy's Magic cast on in like 2 rows. So that is barely started, you can't even see it. But at least it's on its way. So that's a good thing. At least we're getting somewhere. Landed, I've got nothing because the Sheldon blanket and pocket are not done. So I've got nothing for landed. Nothing. Is that 2 weeks in a row? Oh. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't even have anything close I can show you is done. No. Sorry. Maybe I'll have something next week. Take off. I am prepping to start my cousin's blanket. The first cousin's getting married in August. Yeah, August. And I'm going to make the lover's knot Afghan. I've picked out the yarn, but in my excitedness to buy the yarn, I made the classic mistake of not checking the dye lot. And it's acrylic, so there really shouldn't be a difference, but I can tell a difference. So I'm a little annoyed by that, so I need to figure out how to get enough of the dye lot. It's from Hobby Lobby, which there's none up here. I got to get it when I'm down south. So that's being prepped. I printed out the pattern today, and I made a spreadsheet because all the directions say it gives you the 4 or 5 different patterns you use, and then it says knit 1 stitch twisted stitch pattern, knit 12 stitches of the twisted cable, knit 20 stitches of the XOXO cable, repeat this 5 times, whatever. So I went and made a spreadsheet with all the stuff on it. So I'll be able to just cross it off as I go along. So I'll never keep track of. They're all different lengths, like one's 12 rows, one's 20, one's 2, some are garter stitch. So that is being prepped. So that's coming up for takeoff. Ground stop. I don't have anything this week. I had a pretty good knitting week. I don't remember having anything. Obviously, it wasn't very big if there was any. Holding, which is my spinning. I'm going to share some fiber that I have because I'm not spinning at the moment. This is... stand by. This a friend got for me. She stayed at my house for a few days while I was gone. She was looking for housing up in Maine because she's another pilot at my company, and she was moving up here. So this is, I'm going to butcher this, Hakaya, 70% Hakaya, 30% Merino roving. It's 4 ounces. It's beautiful grays and dark grays and light grays. And she actually got it from the Island Alpaca Company on Martha's Vineyard. She lived down on Martha's Vineyard for a while. When I let her stay, she went to the, she knew it was there, so she went down and said, I've got a friend who spins and knits. What do I do? So they sold her this beautiful 4 ounces of roving, and it came with a pattern once I spin it, so I have a pattern to make a scarf or something like that. So that was very nice of her. Now for reservations. I had a couple people ask me, how do I knit? How do I spin? How do I work 14-hour days and manage to podcast? It's just crazy, I guess. I don't know. The knitting I do when I'm at work, it's one of those hurry up and wait things. Get the flight out on time, get the people to where they go, and then you got an hour and a half, 2 hours until you got to hurry up and get the people there and get them where they want to go. So I knit then. I knit, obviously traveling every week, I get a good 10 hours of knitting time, which is uninterrupted, so I can just go to town. So I guess that's why I'm probably running out of yarn every weekend. So that's how I do it. Podcasting, I do it on a night where I feel good. I've been excited to podcast this week. I've gotten such a great response to the Ravelry group and on Blip and on YouTube, so it's been really fun. So I'm very excited to podcast and to get feedback from you guys because you have given me great feedback, so I really appreciate that. How I came to podcasting. I'm going to touch on this real quick. I only got a couple minutes left, and until I figure out how to cut these so I can put them on YouTube under the 15, I'm going to try to stay under 15 minutes. My friend Heather from the Fiberista Files, who I know in real life, she had a video podcast. And then some of the other podcasts I listened to mentioned the Knit Girls. So I went and listened to watched the Knit Girls, started at the beginning, watched I don't know how many episodes in a row. I finally caught up around Christmas. So however long they were podcasting before that, or videocasting, I was catching up. So I was watching episode after episode after episode, which was very fun. But that just kind of inspired me, and then I think the Knit Girls talked about Round the Twist with Karen, so I started watching her, and I just kind of tumbled from there, and I thought it would be really fun to do a video cast, so I started one, and people are liking it, so I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm just going to rattle off some of the podcasts I listen to. I think this is all of them. Some of you have given me shout-outs. Twisted Strands, she gave me a shout-out. Round the Twist gave me a shout-out. Thank you, Karen. I watched the Knit Girls. I watched the Fiberista Files with Heather, which she did give me a shout out, and I'm pimping her good, so she gives me some podcast love. Mommy Needs Yarn. I believe she mentioned me. Rain Lover. Knitting Nirvana, his and hers. She Knits Group podcast with Sharon. High Fiber Diet with Carrie. She gave me a shout out. Thank you very much. The Knitwork Girls. Stitch It. Keeping It Real. Stash and Burn. The Well Knitted Life, 90% knitting. I'm missing a couple people. Who did I miss? There's 2 people I missed. Sorry. I'll mention you later. I promise. The first podcast I started with were She Knits. I don't remember how I found out about her, but she's got 7 kids, and her podcasting has slowed down a little bit, but she still does it, and I'm very close friends with all the women on that group. So hi, everybody from She Knits. And I also started out with Stash and Burn and Lime and Violet, which Lime and Violet are no more podcasting. But those were my first 3 that I started with, and then it just kind of has tumbled from there. So I'm sorry if I forgot someone. I know I'm forgetting somebody. It's somebody from Plurk too. I'm sorry. I'll figure it out. I'll mention you next week. That's all I got. I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to have some food. I'm going to go to bed. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy the warm-up as it comes. Spring is coming. The weather pattern is breaking. Oh, so excited. Our every 4-day snowstorms are over, I believe. So stay warm, stay safe, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.